All right, let's talk to Ross Tucker, as we do every single Wednesday at this time. Ross, brought to us by Garage Beer. The garage is always open. Light beer like it used to be. Find Garage Beer at your local retailer or online at garagebeer.com, official beer of the Kelsey brothers. Good morning, Ross.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good. I'm getting pumped up, Ross. I mean, first off, it's wide open. And second off, it's, not to be taken for granted, although it's been, frequent lately that during the playoffs. But, I mean, come on. And third, it's Eagles and the Niners. How you feeling, Ross? Talk to us.
Fired up, man. Very, very fired up. Especially, I'll be in the booth on the radio side, which is awesome.
Nice.
So I'm excited I'll get a chance to be there. Obviously, you can't hear it around here because Merrill and Mike, and they do a terrific job. But if you happen to be in Kansas on Sunday.
If you're in Canada, you can listen to me.
Yes, it'll be myself and I and Eagle. But at least I'll be there. That's the point, which will be awesome. Man, you guys are making a lot of good points. I think the one thing I'll say that I don't think has been said enough this year, they had pretty clearly the best offensive line in the NFL last year. Would you guys agree?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Okay. That group, and I know those guys, and I hang out with those guys sometimes socially, and I, love those guys. They're not a top 10 group this year. So that's a massive difference. And there's reasons for that. So I would say at least two reasons would be, number one, with guys being in and out of the lineup. I don't know how many games Toe started at center for Juergens or Toe started at left guard for Landon. Obviously, Lane's been out. Fred Johnson's been in there. They just haven't had the same continuity and chemistry. And we've seen way more guys coming free unblocked, way more. So that's part number one. The second part of it is they're just not what they were a year ago physically. And the best way you can see that is like if you watch a tush push, I can tell if you just watched Landon Dickerson over the last month or so, I can't tell you how much respect I have for that guy. He is hurting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's had 2 knee surgeries since the Super Bowl. But this is why I thought Sirianni did the right thing by giving those guys rest last Sunday, even though I was calling the game and it would have been cooler if the starters were out there. He did the right thing because you can see, especially guys like Juergens, Dickerson, maybe to a lesser extent Mailata, they are not what they were last year. And I think if you asked every single one of those guys, they would have all said the same thing. Just let me feel as good as I can, as I possibly can for this playoff run. So, look, I'm not saying the coaches have lit the world on fire. They haven't. There's too many times where it seems like all the receivers are covered or, it's not a really impressive route combination or whatever. But the biggest difference I've seen in the offense this year is when you go from the number 1 offensive line in the league to not a top 10 unit, that's a pretty significant
there's no
drop-off.
question. And again, Ross with us, and he'll be fielding your phone calls in a moment. Reminder, 8 o'clock, we're going to give you a name, and with that name, you can win tickets on Friday's show at 8 to the Eagles 49ers game.
Courtesy of NovaCare Rehabilitation, the power of physical therapy.
So spread the word to your family and friends, or don't, because if you tell your family and friends, then they could win, and then you might not. So, Seltzer, should people actually not tell their family and friends they can win tickets?
It's a tough call here.
But see, if you tell
if they're going to take you, right?
Yes, if you tell them and they call in and get it, they have to take you.
Yeah, those are the rules, I think.
It's an obligation.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
2 things on that.
Yeah.
First of all, I love how you and Rhea do that thing right there. Where as soon as you stop talking, she goes bam, and she chimes in right away.
Yeah.
Secondly,
People
well-oiled machine, Ross.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Well, the people on YouTube see our hand signals, but yes, go ahead.
Oh, God, that's funny. Anyway, it sounds awesome.
Thank you.
And then it's like, it's perfect. And then in terms of what you said about should you tell your friends, it reminds me every once in a while, for the listeners, Joe and I usually meet up once a summer at the Jersey Shore.
Yep.
And it's not that easy sometimes to get reservations down there, for dinner. And my wife is not, she likes to go out. She's not here to be cooking. So it's now like when people ask me what my favorite restaurants are, I'm like, oh, man, Wawa's unbelievable. I don't want to tell it. I know for a fact a couple of them, they're listening and they know I love them. I don't even tell people how much I like their restaurants anymore because I don't want other people going and taking my spot.
I get it. All right, Eagles and Niners. So it's in a couple days. And again, if you want to react to the Sirianni interview from yesterday, which we played a portion of today, certainly you can. The big thing we're driving at today is whether you think this offense cranks it up. And my simple answer is no. Now, I think there will be, I'll call it, slight improvement. Because I do think Jalen will run more. I do think Jalen should run more. I don't necessarily expect it in the first half. I'd like to see it. But, man, Sirianni and Jalen are so conservative, it wouldn't shock me if they don't even unleash him until the third and fourth quarter if it's close. I hope they do it a little sooner. But I know that improvement is an easy one to do whenever they choose to do it. But I got to say, candidly, do I think they really crank this thing up offensively? I just don't know after 4 months how you reasonably can expect that they will. Maybe the bye, helps with the offensive lineman, as Ross was just talking about. But for the most part, I think what we've seen is what we've had. Yes.
I got something very encouraging for you.
Yep.
And I saw this in my prep for Sunday's game. In both 2022 and 2024, the Eagles averaged over 7 more points per game in the playoffs than they did in the regular season. So go back. I think I might have gotten that from Zach Berman, actually, who does an awesome job covering the team for The Athletic. But in both 2022, the last 2 times
that's good
that they went to the Super Bowl, they averaged more than a touchdown more than 7. It was like 23 to 30 and 25 to 33 or whatever, right? But more than 7. So the answer is, I don't know if this year's team will, but they can crank it up.
Here's the problem. If we score 7 points more than what we've averaged against these playoff teams in the second half of the season, we'll score 21.6 points. That's
probably enough, John.
No, I think it's a race to 20.
I think it's a race to
25. 25 to beat them.
25 would be nice.
I think 21.
Mid-20s.
I do, too. 20. I think it's a lower scoring game. I mean, look, there was 13-3 in Seattle. We just saw that game happen.
Yeah.
Don't you think that counts for something, though? They scored 3 points. They are mad
How
about
did a Shanahan coach team only score 3 points?
If you missed it earlier, we had a War of the Roses around here an hour ago over Sirianni and Shanahan. Is that a fair reference, War of the Roses? I don't know.
Sure, yeah. They hated each other.
No one died at the end. No one died at the end.
They do die at the end of the War of the Roses.
I
got my bad.
Let me tell you,
good call,
the show doesn't end till 10. One of us could die by 10 o'clock.
That's a good point.
You're closer to John than I am.
As long as the chandelier doesn't fall, we should be all right.
Ooh, that's a tough one, John.
Because you don't want to say the truth?
No. I don't think
it's hard to say the truth on this. Honestly, it makes me feel awful.
No, here's the truth is, I think it's really hard to not want to have Kyle Shanahan as your game planner and play designer on offense. Yeah. Really hard. I mean, they have been by far the best offense in the NFL over the last 2 months of the season until the Seahawks game. The Seahawks beat the crap out of them on Saturday night. But up until that point, and by the way, that's without Brandon Ayuk. That's without, they didn't have Trent Williams on Saturday night, which was a big thing.
Yeah.
So I think, what we've learned is Sirianni is an excellent, excellent coach. But I do think we've seen that the coordinators matter a lot. A lot. And if you have a coach like Shanahan, you really only have to worry about the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They're going to consistently, look how many points they scored this year with Mac Jones. They're going to score points on offense regardless. That is really hard to not say, I want that.
So it sounds like your answer.
Close.
Your answer. It sounds like is Shanahan by a little bit. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you.
I think let's put it this way. I'm a big Sirianni fan, but I believe if you ask the other 30 teams in the NFL, you can have Sirianni or you can have Shanahan. I think most of them would take Shanahan.
I agree.
Because of the play calling element.
I agree with that.
I think Sirianni, if everything, it's kind of like Harbaugh getting fired by the Ravens. Like if Sirianni ever got let go, there was a bunch of teams that would want him. He's a great coach, proven commodity. I think more would jump after Shanahan because not only is he a better play caller, but also You don't have to worry about you have a good offensive coordinator like Steichen or Kellen Moore, and then they leave. You don't need to worry about that. You got the guy.
All right, let's mix in some calls here. Again, got a lot happening. The tickets at 8 o'clock, as far as we give you a name, part of the contest. We're giving away Flyers tickets today all through the show. We're looking for the best cameo ever in a movie or a TV show. And again, we're previewing the Eagles and the Niners, and specifically through the prism of the Eagles offense. And not just Eagles-Niners, but the playoffs. Because this is the easiest one for the Eagles offense. This is probably the worst defense they'll face the rest of the year. Let's hope there's more games after this.